Hello everyone, I am Jack and I'm back, and let me show you what I'm working on. All right, so I've got to make the two sides look the same. All right, I like this shape right here, how it slightly comes up. I didn't particularly like this side over here that was absolutely flat. So what I did was I made templates. Oh, but I do like this curve right here, where it kind of goes up and over and like this. Did not like this one. Well, I'm kind of redid it, but it had a definite step. It didn't look the same. It dropped down right here. So I filled, if you look at the different colors here, the darker colors, because I mixed it hotter, put more hardener in there so it makes it darker. So I filled in this spot here. There was a step right here. I decided I would try filling in that step, make a curve out of it. I'll see how much I like it when it's done. And that's also because I got to get this side to look the same, and it was easier to do it that way, and I think I'll like it. Anyway, so what I did was, to get everything to look the same, I made some templates out of cardboard. So let me see what I've got here. All right, so I made a template. I think this goes over here. So I made a template of this part right here, over here. So I would get that curve right. Okay, let me see. Oh, see, and I made a mark on there. The center of the tail light here, this outer tail light, I marked it. This is another one of those things. So I took a square, and here we go. Took a square. I said, hey, the center of the tail light, good place to align. So I put this right here and said, okay, I'll make a line. That's 2 inches. Come over here, make a line. That's 2 inches. And then the middle of those two is the middle of that tail light. Notice how there is a 1/4 of an inch about between the two. So I came over here and said, let me do the same thing. Put this right here, 2 inches. Put it over here, 2 inches. Ta-da, same exact line. So I go back and verify. Sure enough, this one's 4 inches wide. That one's 3 3/4 inches wide. Again, this was supposed to be show car quality body work. Come on, give me a break. All right, so at least I know where the center of this is and the center of that is. I'll have to figure out what to do about the different shapes, sizes of those two in the future. But at least it gave me a reference point. All right, so then let me find my template right here. So I come here, and this is my reference point. So if you look, that line right there is my center of my reference point. So I put that there, and then I made this cardboard template match that curve. All right, it doesn't right now because I filled in right there just a little bit. I'm trying to get the other part of it, but anyway, I wanted to show you what I did. So I got that curve the way I wanted it, and then I went over to, and this was straight across like that. All right, so then I came over here to this side and said, all right, from the center of the tail light, if I put that there, and I marked that against the two sides, so there's my mark there, and then I like arrows better than marks. So there's the center, there's my arrow. I put this right there, there we go, and then put this all the way across there. That was allowing me to get this curve over to this side. All right, you can see I still need to trim a little bit right there, see? But I also know I don't want to have to gouge this out, or I don't think I want to have to gouge this out like that. All right, but that did get me to get this outside curve there. But if you look, you can see that that is the straight line that was on the other side, so that's how much off these two sides were to each other. So then I said, all right, I've got this part kind of where I want it. So now, where's my other template? Here it is. Here's my other template. So then I put this on here. Again, line that up there. and made the curve match. I can't do this with one hand. Anyway, this matches the curve. So then I came over here and said, oh, okay, now I need to make the curve match. And again, this is hard to do with one hand, but there, that matches up. And then if I hold it in the middle, you'll get kind of, all right, this matches. And so then I put on some body filler and just got this edge to match. So now, since this is a straight line or close to it, I used my, here we are, I think it's a 16-inch body sander. All right, so I know that this is flat and level because I use this to sand it. You can see there's a couple low spots right there and there. I'll worry about those later. Again, I'm just trying to get the basic shape. All right, and then the other thing is I filled in that low spot right there and smoothing it out so that it's a gradual curve. So now I have to come over here. I know that this is the right spot because I can see orange is where the original C8 paint is. It was an orange car. So I know that that's an original C8 spot. I know that that's an original C8 spot over there. So now I need to fill in that. All right, so I know this inside edge is the right spot, the outside edge is the right spot, so everything in between here needs to be filled in. Now, up until we get to about right here, I haven't measured this yet, but what I'll do is I'll take a tape measure and measure from there to there. I'll come over here, and I approximated it when I put the body filler on there, so that's about the same. So from here over, it's going to be a straight line from this edge down to this edge. And then here, the step is slowly going to go. The reason it steps down is because this is where the third brake light is. So I needed it to open up to show the third brake light. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this is how I go about getting things to match side to side as best as I can. Again, I'm limited by what they did, and it's not going to be exactly what I want, but at this point, like I said, I just want it done. So you can see that if you look at this one has that slight upward curve and then back down. That one does too. It's not exact. I will cut better templates once I get everything close. Oh, and the other thing is I use the other part of the template. By the way, I just use boxes like this. They're nice and thin, but they're thick enough to work, to hold shape. And then the other reason, I've got template gauges or contour gauges, but they don't work well on something like this that if you look at it from the top, it curves in two directions. So if I were to use the template gauge, it would want to go off this direction. So with these, I can wrap them around. So my point being that now I have the one's positive, they call it one positive and one negative. And so then I can take this one, and again, it's hard to do, but I can match it up to here and go, oh, okay. Line it up, and you can see there, you can see the difference. The outside edge matches on both sides, but you can see that this is where the straight line, this was made off of the other side before I filled it, so that's how far off it was. That's at least 1/4 of an inch. So if I come over here, it should look the same because I filled that in. All right, so if I put this here and put that in, so I'm matching up that end where it's almost to here, right there. And you can see that, let me find my mark. There's my mark, line them up. This is where it was. So now I filled in that difference. If I come off to this one, no, that's right. So I cut it off of each end. So this gauge is for both sides. There's one side, there's the other side. So I just flip it 180 degrees. I did not mark this, but if I had, let me take my best guess, put it there. Let me put this up, sorry about the view. There we go. All right, so you can see that that's what this was like before I did this. So it matched here, and then it came down, and it has way too much, it was way too low right here. So again, it's kind of hard for me to do one-handed, but you get the idea. So somewhere between these two is going to be the right thing, and it's going to be actually the one that goes over here. So again, if I flip this over, all right, you can see that's the one that's off, because if I line up that end and I line up that end, there's that extra space. If I flip this over 180 and line it up there and line it up there, you can see, well, like I said, it's hard to do one-handed. Anyway, you get the idea that, there we go, that this is going to get it closer to where it belongs. All right, so like I said, this is the roughing in, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it out. You can see where that black line is. That's probably where I need to sand it down to, but I wanted to play it safe and make it a little bit higher, and then I can make it go down to the right height when I have two hands and I can sand and all that. But now my next step is to literally fill in this area right here with body filler, which is what I'm going to do as soon as I stop this video. All right, so like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate, and if you don't like what I'm doing, you don't know Jack. Bye.